Our memory isn't like a video camera. You know, we think that we go through our lives seeing things and recording things and having them imprinted in our minds. But actually this isn't the case at all. We are wired to remember memories that make sense of who we are at the moment and who we will be in the future. As we get older, we start to process our memories. Details that we don't like are erased or deleted. Memories are merged or blurred together to form imprints in our minds that actually are miles from the reality of the situations that we've lived through. And this happens over and over again. And each time we think about something, the memory forms differently and then comes apart. And then the next time we think about it, different pieces come together. And I guess what this show does is it calls into question how true those memories are. Because if our memories shift and change over time, how do we really know that we have experienced the things that we remember and that we are the person that we remember ourselves being?
In the show, what we do is we focus on tiny little memories throughout the life of our protagonist that focus on her relationship with one of her best friends. And we see these memories when they happen, we see them when they're remembered, we see them when they're remembered again, we see all of the memories start to change and start to morph, and seeing how that sort of traces throughout the life of the character, and then zooming through to an older version of the character towards the end of their life, and then looking back on the whole sort of stretch of the memories and realizing that they've kind of turned the whole thing into this rose-tinted version of a life that actually never happened.
Time of Listening is the culmination of the last 2 years, coming backwards and forwards for writing residencies, for composition, bringing up artists that inspire us and people that we want to collaborate with.
1 yellow on, 2 yellow on. Now, I am duck.
It's quite a heady mix of sound design, music, and live processing. So something that we're really interested in is bringing a liveness and a sort of a reality to a music theatre setting, and saying, what does it mean to just see the people on stage making music? And what does it mean to bring loads of natural sounds in, loads of sound design in, so that you're never quite sure whether what you're listening to is real, is imagined, is created, is part of the character's like internal thoughts or part of what the character is experiencing. And it's kind of there to slightly destabilize the audience so that they're not quite sure where they are at any given moment, but everything has a purpose. And so there's lots of, cinematic jump cuts between things, and the sound design is really heavily used to signpost when things are changing, when things are moving on, and creating a sense of these little like insertions into a vignette and saying, like, you're just going to see this bit, stop, onwards, like you're just going to see this bit.
What we are presenting is one part of a much bigger show.
We're really keen to give, because the show revolves around this idea of things changing over time and things developing from one end of the show to the other. To just show excerpts of it feels like a very unsatisfactory experience because it doesn't get the concept of the show across. So by making this sort of miniature version of the show, almost, you get an idea of the concept, you get a sense of how it will change, and then in a larger version of the piece it will just be more fleshed out, and there'll be more sort of maybe more red herrings, more dead ends, and then more stories that carry all the way through.